Welcome back. Hope you are doing well. I am Bindu. In the previous session on the atmosphere, we discussed the classification of winds and their effects and the role of winds in changing weather and climate. Let us now continue and understand more about the atmosphere. From class 9th Social Studies. Learning outcomes. You will be able to understand about humidity and precipitation, forms of precipitation, types of rainfall, convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, cyclonic rainfall, condensation, orographic rainfall, precipitation caused by the lifting of moist air over a mountain barrier, cyclonic rainfall, rains that occur due to the heating and cooling of air, condensation, the conversion of vapor or gas to a liquid, transpiration, the process by which water is lost through the surface of a plant, relative humidity. Relative humidity is a way of describing how much humidity there is in the air compared to how much there could be. Dew point, the temperature at which water vapor in the air becomes saturated and water droplets begin to form. Sleet. Sleet is rain that is partly frozen. Hailstone. Hailstones are small balls of ice that fall like rain from the sky. Rain shadow, a region in the lee of mountains that receives less rainfall than the region windward of the mountains. Tropical cyclone. A tropical cyclone is a circular air movement over the warm ocean waters in the warm part of Earth near the equator. Observe the concept map. Let us now understand more elements. Humidity and precipitation. Let us recall how water cycle works in the atmosphere. You can understand how hydrosphere and atmosphere interact with each other. Water vapor is a very important component in the atmosphere. In most places, the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere varies over time and as part of changing weather patterns. In many places, in winter, it is dry and cold. In such places, our skin may feel itchy, dry, and it may crack. Combined with high temperature, it is the water vapor that makes you feel sultry and sweaty. Due to this, some places are very humid and some places feel very dry like deserts. The moisture, water vapor in the atmosphere is derived from water bodies through evaporation and from plants through transpiration. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. In high humidity, our sweat doesn't cool us because it cannot evaporate. In low humidity, we also feel thirstier. Do you know? Hygrometer is an instrument that measures the water vapor content, humidity of the air. We can express the humidity by using the concept of relative humidity. The relative humidity is the ratio between the maximum water vapor that the air can hold at a given temperature and pressure and the actual amount of water vapor it holds at any given time. For example, at 20 degrees Celsius, temperature air can contain 80 grams of water vapor per cubic meter. If the actual water vapor present is only 40 grams, the relative humidity is 50%. Relative humidity increases with the decrease in temperature or the addition of water vapor. Relative humidity decreases with the increase of temperatures and decrease of water vapor. The critical temperature at which saturation level is reached is called dew point. If the atmosphere has 100% relative humidity, it is known as saturation level. Condensation. Condensation is the opposite of evaporation, as it involves the conversion of water vapor into droplets of water or crystals of ice. When the relative humidity exceeds 100%, the excess water vapor present in the atmosphere gets condensed as minute droplets of water. Condensation can take place only when minute solid particles are present in the atmosphere. Condensation can also take place on a contact surface. For example, have you observed what happens when cold water is filled in a glass? Condensation happens on the outer side of the glass. As the moisture in the air comes in contact with a cold surface. When water vapor condenses on surfaces such as plants, dewdrops form. Dust particles also attract water molecules from the water vapor in the atmosphere. This causes condensation. Condensation means becoming denser of the vapor into droplets. Millions and millions of these droplets appear together as different kinds of clouds. If the clouds are cold enough, they may also contain ice crystals. Clouds are classified into different types on the basis of their forms and heights at which they are found. For example, cirrus clouds at higher level, cumulus clouds at middle level, stratus at lower level, nimbus, rain-bearing and vertical clouds. With condensation, the droplets get heavy and fall on earth as precipitation. From the Latin word precipitation meaning to falling headlong, to plummet. In the form of rain, snow, hail, etc. If these droplets condense very close to Earth's surface, the droplets are lighter and we get fog. Forms of precipitation. Rainfall is the most common form of precipitation. When condensation takes place at temperatures below freezing point, water vapor condenses directly into ice crystals. These may fall on the earth as a powdery mass or flakes of snow. This form of precipitation is called snowfall. Snowfall is quite common in middle and high latitudes and mountain regions. When rain falls through a cold layer of air near the Earth's surface, raindrops get frozen into ice and fall down. This form of precipitation is called sleet. When there are strong vertical currents in the atmosphere, condensation takes place at high altitudes at low temperature. Ice crystals grow in size gradually but do not fall owing to ascending currents. Eventually, the ice crystals grow to a large size of a few centimeters in diameter. And fall down as solid masses. This form of precipitation is called hailstone. Hailstone causes damage to crops and buildings. On the basis of their origin, rainfall may be classified into three main types: convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, cyclonic rainfall. Conventional rainfall. This type of rainfall takes place when moist air over the headed ground becomes warmer than the surrounding air and is forced to raise. This forced air then expands, cools, and condenses to form water. Convectional rainfall is common in low latitudes and on summer days in interior part of the continents, and usually come in the form of short heavy showers just after the hottest part of the day. Sometimes accompanied by thunder and lightning. Orographic rainfall. Orographic rainfall is also sometimes called orogenic rainfall. We get this term from the Greek word oros, meaning mountain. This occurs when moist wind is forced to rise over a mountain or other elevation in its path. Thus, the windward sides of many mountain ranges receive heavy precipitation, whereas the leeward sides along which the air moves down receives less rainfall. Such situations occurs widely along the western coast of India. The moist air from the Arabian Sea is forced by the western Ghats to rise up resulting in expansion, cooling, and rainfall. On the other side of the Western Ghats, the descending wind is devoid of moisture and hence does not give the rain in the central part of Deccan Plateau. Hence, this region is dry and known as rain shadow region. Cyclonic rainfall. This type of rainfall is associated with the passage of a cyclone or a depression. There are two types of cyclones: the tropical cyclones and the temperate cyclones. The term cyclone is derived from the Greek word kyklon, meaning revolving. Tropical cyclones are developed on the warm sea surface. 26 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius and move towards the land. The winds are lifted up by the movement of cyclones. The uplifted air gives heavy rainfall. Temperate cyclones occur when the cold, dry, denser air masses converge with warm, wet, lighter air masses. The warmer air, being lighter, is lifted up by the denser cold air and results in rainfall. Let us see rainfall across the globe. Between the latitudes 10 degrees and 30 degrees north and south of the equator, due to the trade winds, rainfall is heavier on the eastern coast and decreases towards the west. Between the latitudes 40 degrees and 60 degrees north and south of the equator, due to the westerlies, the rainfall is heavy on the west coast and decreases towards the east. Low pressure areas, especially around the equator, receive high rainfall than high pressure areas. The rainfall is higher over the oceans than on the continents. So, this is all about the humidity, precipitation, and types of rainfall which affects the atmosphere. Hope you liked the video.